And today, what we are discussing is the best way to train for your goals. And basically, we are talking about things in the context of whether it's strength training, for gaining muscle, for losing fat, or for basically anything. The best way to train for our goals. Most goals fall under this category where the best way to train for them is actually to incorporate weight training with progressive overload. And I'll explain why. But first of all, what is progressive overload? So progressive overload is where over time, you increase the stimulus that your body is exposed to by way of the training stimulus. So there are a lot of different ways we can do this, whether it's increasing reps, increasing sets, increasing the weight, but the standard, there are all those different ways. There are some more advanced ways as well, such as more time under tension. Improving technique isn't too advanced or anything like that, but there are a multitude of different things that we can do. So, why is progressive overload important? It's important for achieving your goals because if you have the goal of losing fat, we want to basically keep or gain as much muscle as possible during that period of time, because when we're losing weight, most of the time people want to lose fat as well. And when you are putting your body in a state to do that, a calorie deficit, where basically you're eating less than your body needs to sustain its current weight, your body is going to, in order to lose that weight, it's going to lose tissue. And the tissue that you lose is going to be basically any tissue that your body isn't using or your body doesn't see as necessary. So if you're trying to lose fat and you aren't applying progressive overload to your training, then you're just going to be basically, or if you're not doing any weight training, you're just going to be losing a little bit of fat, but also a large part of it is muscle, because your body's not using it. So it's just like, well, I am done ski with this, goodbye muscle. Because muscle takes a lot of energy to sustain. So we want to get your body into a state where it's encouraged to hold on to the muscle, and as a result, because it has to get rid of tissue when it's in that state, it will lose fat. And this is why weight training is really important for losing fat in stubborn areas, as well as just losing fat overall. So that's the fat loss side of things. Now, to keep it simple, we're just going to discuss fat loss and muscle gain primarily today. When it comes to gaining muscle, this is probably the more obvious one, is if you want to gain muscle, you've got to progress the training stimulus as well. Otherwise, your body doesn't have more stimulus to gain muscle. Because when we train, when you do a certain amount of sets and reps with a given weight, that's a stimulus that we're giving the body, and the body will get used to that stimulus. It's going to adapt to whatever stimulus you give it, because that's just what our bodies do. They adapt to stimuli. So when your body is adapting to a certain stimulus, if you don't increase the stimulus, there's nothing more for your body to adapt to. So if you're looking to gain muscle and you're just doing the same weight for the same sets, the same reps, your body's like, after one session, basically, it's like, cool, I'm good. Don't need to keep putting on any more muscle to keep up with the demand that's being placed on me, if we were speaking in terms of the body. So, what that means is if you want to gain muscle, got Zeke's little ears here. If you want to gain muscle, Yana walking in the background. If you want to gain muscle, you've got to keep progressing your training. Now, the easiest or the simplest method of progressive overload that I suggest and get most people on is what I call the link fit method. I'm sure there's another name for it, but I call it the link fit method because that's just easier that way. And basically what you're doing with that is you are setting what we could call a rep cap. So depending on your goals, if it's muscle building, people tend to do more so sets of 8 to 12. If it's muscular endurance, people do sets of 15 to 20. That's like how many reps in one set. If it's strength, people tend to do sets of 4 to 6 or 2 to 6 reps. The point of this is basically you want to push yourself to the point where you can do, say it's 3 sets. 3 sets of 12 with a given weight. And for example, 20 kilograms for your dumbbell pressing. Say you can do 3 sets of 12 with the 20 kilograms for that session. Next session, you should go up in weight to the 22.5s. And that might mean you do 1 set of 10, 1 set of 12, and 1 set of 11. Then you keep using that weight again until you can do 3 sets of 12. So we'll build up to being able to do 3 sets of 12, and that might take a couple of sessions, and then by the time you've done that, you increase again. And that way it's like you're constantly increasing the stimulus that you're giving your body, as a result, putting on muscle, or at the very least, retaining muscle when you're losing fat. Same thing goes with strength. Like when you're doing that, your body's getting used to the stimulus that you're giving it, and then you're increasing the stimulus, so you're going to be getting stronger as a result of that. Regardless of what rep range you use, you're going to be getting stronger by doing that. As well as that, for building muscle and for retaining muscle, we always want to train in a decent proximity to failure. This is just a quick side note where you're basically training 1 to 3 reps shy of failure consistently. Because that point, so say 1 rep shy of failure for me, maybe if I'm using my dumbbell press and I'm using 10 kilograms, and that 1 rep shy of failure point is a set of 10. Once I've done that for 1 session, the next time I come in, that point's going to have shifted up because my body's adapted to the stimulus that I gave it. So 10's not my point anymore. It might be 11 or 12, and as a result, I push that point, and I'm like, cool, I've hit that point, and then I will continue to keep progressing. So that's that basically when it comes to the best way to train, the best way to train for your goals is to implement progressive overload in, this part's important as well, a personalized program that fits to your lifestyle. So what that means is basically it fits to how many days you can train, how long you can train for. Those are the 2 main things basically. The days you can train and how long you can train for. So if you took a really good 6-day program, but you only did 3 days a week of it and did that day in and out, you're not necessarily optimizing or doing the best that you can with that. So progressive overload is key in is a key aspect of the best way to train for your goals, because no matter what your goals are, you have to keep progressing, otherwise the body stagnates and you'll be like, why aren't I getting any results anymore? So progressive overload and a personalized program is really going to optimize how well you can apply that progressive overload. That's it, guys, basically. That's the best way to train for your goals, and that's all that we are talking about today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll speak to you guys soon. See you at least next week, and keep an eye out, because within the next week I'm actually going to be releasing a guide with 7 steps to guarantee results. Thanks, guys. Hope it helps. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your weekends or whenever you're watching this.